Hello and welcome to this special QI Week podcast. My name is Sam Davies and I am the Creative Communications Manager here at the Academy of Research and Improvement. And I have the absolute pleasure of speaking with Anita Dehavilland today, who is our QI specialist and the founder of QI Week. If you've ever wondered how this incredible week of celebration, learning and improvement came about, or how you can get involved, this episode is for you. We'll be talking about its beginnings, the highlights from the year so far, and why QI Week is becoming a movement that everyone can be part of.
Sam, thank you for inviting me to talk on one of the podcasts. My name's Anita Dehavilland. I am a nurse by background, and I've been working in improvement for about 3.5 years now. When I say working in improvement, that doesn't mean to say that's any time I've started improvement. I've been involved in improvement more or less throughout the whole of my career, so I have lots of experience behind me as well.
I suppose that's why you have the name QI specialist, the job title.
I wouldn't say I was a specialist. I think once you know absolutely everything about improvement, then it's probably time to hang your hat up. I think you're constantly learning, but what I can do is offer that experience that I've had in implementing change or when change hasn't gone so well.
Amazing. Okay, so we'll start off with the questions. I have a long list of questions here. Okay, so would you mind taking us back to the very beginning? What inspired you to start QI Week in the first place?
Okay, so I think for me it was sort of like more or less every day, every week, there's something different that's being celebrated within the NHS.
There are so many.
So many. And there's some really good campaigns out there. Stop the red clocks, Red for Research. They've both got red in the titles. I don't know if that's
we love Red for Research here.
We do love Red for Research. But what I found was that there wasn't really anything celebrating improvement. And so, that's where QI Week came about. Spoke about it to my colleagues, but also went out to social media as well, asking what people were doing, if they knew of anything specific, and everyone came back going either no, or we hold our own day, we hold our own week, and they're all scattered throughout the year. And so what I kind of wanted to do was to bring everyone together, because I think power in numbers is so important.
Oh, absolutely. Thank goodness you did. Like, what a gap you're filling. It's incredible, and we love QI Week. And how long has QI Week been a thing now?
So this is the 3rd year, so it's still really in the early days.
Yeah. Still, I feel like it's been going on for much longer than that for some reason.
No, it's only in its 3rd year, but it's just grown so much in that time.
Yes. So when you think, so let's go back to the very first QI Week. What did you imagine it could grow into?
Well, when I started putting the first QI Week together, I had all this kind of blue sky thinking and was going to make it a sort of national, global, international event. And I was going to take on the world, sort of channeling Pinky in the Brain. I'm going to have world domination for QI Week. But obviously, as you do with improvement, you rein yourself back in and you start small. So I think for me, it was having a local event, although I did reach out to my colleagues within the region, and actually first year was a regional event. And then I just wanted to kind of grow it organically.
And it really has. So from trust to trust, they're speaking about it without you even being involved now.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. And that leads me on to the next question, really, because each year more and more organisations are getting involved. And I know we don't have a specific number right now, but it's definitely over 70 in this current year, right? Yeah. So what do you think has sparked such an incredible growth?
I don't know, because as I said, I went out onto social media and didn't really get an awful lot back. And then I just thought I would try my luck when an email came in and it was from the National QI Comms Network. And so I hijacked that email and said, hi guys, this is what I want to do, thinking about QI Week, who wants to get involved? And it really did. It's like what you teach people or you facilitate when you're training QI is actually you need those first few adopters to come forward. And it was so true. There were people going, oh, yeah, I might be interested, but I need to see who else gets on board. And so a few people said yes, and the floodgates opened. And then after QI Week last year, we had people going, I've only just learned about this, how do I get involved? And I'm still getting people now as we're about to launch the third year saying, only just hearing about it. Wow. And so, yeah, they're now being connected to really support for year 4.
So what's the furthest away that you have reached so far?
So in the first year, with some of the sessions we were hosting virtually, we had someone from the British Virgin Islands.
Oh my goodness, really?
Come on, which was like, oh my God, how did you hear about it over there?
And how did they hear about it?
Through the website, which is amazing. But how they heard about our website, I don't know, all the way over there. We obviously have some very good comms, Sam, that people are looking out for it. But I think from a national point of view, we are sort of getting people from Wales. So Wales are much more prominent this year. We're getting a couple from Scotland, but it'd be good to reach out a bit more. And then into Ireland, I think, would be good.
That's an incredible, base of connections that you're building here as well.
Absolutely.
And they can obviously all talk amongst each other, which is
sparking
conversations.
Lots of I know, regional meetings that happen. There's other sort of senior leadership type meetings. Wow. There's WhatsApp groups going on. Of course. And I've been told about people going, oh my God, Anita, I'm even hearing about you in this WhatsApp group I'm on. So that's really good that, that word of mouth is now helping to spread QI Week.
Looking back then, because it has only been 3 years, is there a particular story or moment or piece of feedback that has made you think, yes, this is why we do it?
So thinking about QI Week specifically, I remember last year, and I can't remember if it was in an email or if someone had written it in the chat on a Teams call, but I do remember what was said. And what it was we didn't specifically contribute to the national agenda for QI Week, but we did our own local stuff. But it felt really good knowing we were part of something bigger. And I think for me that's key. You don't have to bring forward stuff to go on a national agenda.
Absolutely.
Amazing if you can, but you don't have to. But I think everyone knowing that they're all celebrating the amazing improvement work that people are doing specific week of the year is amazing. Although what I will put a caveat onto that is we should be celebrating every day, but QI Week is a good way of bringing everyone together and have that real shared learning nationally going on.
Because the world of quality improvement is very unique and is so different in every circumstance. And I just think it's such a powerful thing to know that you're not alone and you have this amazing week to bring everyone together and build those connections and shout about things and actually say, this is something that I'm thinking about doing. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think this could work? And the power of conversation and connection is everything.
Absolutely. And I remember last year doing one of the QI Cafe series, and someone from another organisation stayed behind and went, can I just ask you a few questions? Yeah. And we're asking me about their improvement and what they should do. And obviously, go and speak to your improvement team. They'll absolutely be able to support you. But these are things that you could be doing, you could consider, have you thought about? And so just having that open conversation, I think really meant a lot to that member of staff, because they then went away going, yeah, I've got lots more ideas of what I can do now.
That's incredible. And that's just one story. That's just one. Okay, and so QI Week is all about celebrating change, sharing learning and improving together. Which of those feels the most important to you and why?
So I don't think you can put an importance onto just one of them. They are all equally important. So I think, we should absolutely be celebrating the changes that we're putting in place. We need to be loud and proud, scream it from the rooftops, share it amongst your organisation, regionally, nationally, because actually other people might be able to benefit from what you've done. So that then comes into the sharing learning. Don't keep it to yourself. Spread it out.
Exactly. Feel empowered to go outside of your comfort zone.
Absolutely, Sam. And, pinch with pride, but also that improving together. So, you might have seen shared learning coming out and going, God, that looks like such a good idea. We could implement that. But actually then going to them, can you help me? Can you support me? Can I talk to you about what you did? All of it is equally important.
Yeah, that is a perfect answer, which I think leads us quite nicely to our next question, which is the Shout Out for Improvement Board, which is one of my favourite aspects of QI Week. Can you tell us about it firstly, so that listeners can learn more about it, and tell us maybe about how the idea came about?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Shout Out for Improvement is a way for colleagues to give colleagues a shout out for the work they've done around improvement. So whether that's implementing a change, is it supporting others to implement a change, being that role model, being curious, having that real passion to want to make our services better for our patients, families, carers, and our colleagues alike. So that's a little bit about what it is. How it came about, I'm not really sure. I just wanted a way for people to celebrate each other.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of gratitude, things that happen within the organisation, but I wanted something specifically around improvement. But I didn't want it to be something that it's every month, I've got to then find someone to nominate. I wanted it,
which makes it less organic.
Yeah, I just wanted it to happen alongside QI Week, so that we can celebrate people who have done amazing work throughout the year.
And I know we've moved to an MS Teams form now, but it was originally a Padlet, and we're going to be looking into how we can make it a much more visual board. But that's what I really love about it, is that anyone can go on it and visually see these amazing people that have been curious and have, gone outside of their comfort zones, or even just sparked a conversation or made an improvement. And it is a powerful thing. Why do you think it's so important to recognise colleagues in this way?
I think it's really important because we don't always say thank you or you did a good job. We're so head down. You've made that improvement. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. And I think for me, just someone taking a couple minutes out of their day to nominate them for a shout out means the world. And then when people get, so we send a certificate out to them, thinking about green sustainability, we send it out electronically. And for people to get that, it really makes their day. Yeah. And, last year we were getting emails, I was having a bad day, but this has really brightened my mood. Thank you so much. I've never had anything like this before. So it means a lot to the people who are being recognised.
Absolutely. Celebrating that success, there's something about the NHS. I love the NHS because we're working alongside people who literally every day go above and beyond. And I just think just spending that a little minute of time just saying, you've done something incredible here.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's morale boosting, isn't it?
No, absolutely. Because we're all worker bees in the NHS, and very rarely do we spend just a second of time thinking, actually, what I've done here is pretty amazing. And it's just taking that time just to pat yourself on the back as well, because it is amazing.
And we should all do more of that. Be loud and proud about what we've done and share what we've done. Get it out there.
So how have staff responded to being recognised publicly then? Has it sparked more conversations about improvement, do you think? Or
staff have responded really positively, and I think for some of the things I've just mentioned, so making them feel better, giving them that warm fuzzy feeling that you get, sparking improvement ideas or improvement conversations. It's very difficult to know for sure, but there are people who've gone, I love that, your shout out for improvement board. But also there's we get to see other things that are going on that haven't necessarily been registered with us, and we can start to put people in contact with others. Actually, I know someone who's done a piece of work very similar. Go and speak to them about it and see what they've done. So you're getting that collaboration and that shared learning going.
I suppose it almost feels like, that you're sewing these people into the wider fabric that is quality improvement, and, they are part of it.
And I think being able to put people in contact with each other is really key, because at the end of the day we don't want quality improvement to be hard. It needs to be accessible to everyone. And so if someone's done some amazing work, don't reinvent the wheel. What can you take from what they've done, adding tweaks to make things better for what you're doing.
Yeah, incredible. So if someone is listening right now and they're thinking about giving a shout out today, what contributions should they be looking to celebrate in their colleagues?
Oh, there's lots. Are people curious about improvement? Are they asking why? So why are we doing things like that? Why are we doing this? Just getting to the crux of why we do things. People who are passionate about wanting to change things, people implementing small or large scale improvements, but also those who are role modelling improvement. They're supporting the next generation of improvers coming up. So I've got an idea, but I'm not sure where to run with it. And then they'll go and support them, ask them to come and talk to us at the academy, signpost training or whatever. So there's loads of ways and loads of things to think about when giving someone a shout out.
Yeah, I think even if you're even starting to think about it, then that is reason enough to give that person a shout out.
Yeah.
And if anyone is wanting to know how to give a shout out, it is on our website, and I will link our website within the description of this podcast. It's very easy, takes a few minutes of your time, and could really make someone's day. So yes, do look into that. Okay, and following on from that, if someone listening as well wants to get involved in QI Week 2025 or the years ahead for the first time, what is the best way to start?
I guess it's talk to your local improvement team, ask them if they're aware of QI Week and are they involved. If not, why not? Just ask that question, why? Ask them what they can do to share what they're doing. There's loads of things that you can get involved in QI Week. There's lots of teams doing lots of stuff locally, regionally as well. So anything. I was talking to a lovely occupational therapist the other day who wanted to get involved in our QI week but didn't know where to start. And do you know what? She's got some amazing improvement initiatives that she's getting involved with and implementing. And so we were talking about it. And she was like, but I haven't got time to do this or do that. And I was like, why don't you write a quick blog about everything you're doing? And
we love a blog at the Academy. They're powerful. We love them.
Love a blog. And yes, you're right, they are so powerful. But it also gets that human connection across as well. So I'm really excited to get that blog come through and us promote it, because I think people are going to see read some really good initiatives that really do have the patient at the heart of everything that we're doing. So again, go to our website.
Go visit our website.
We'll be there at some point.
Yeah, but there is no pressure to be, massively involved. It doesn't take a lot. It can be from as little as, resharing one of our social posts or using our hashtag or anything. It doesn't have to be adding to the schedule of QI week. It could be just attending as well. And we would love to hear from you. So never hesitate to get in touch with us. We'd love to see you.
Or give us a shout out on social media.
Give us a shout out, yes.
Hello, we attended this during QI week.
We do have...
That would be amazing.
We do have, sorry to mention our website yet again, but we do have a wonderful range of assets that you can use, from posters to teams' backgrounds, if you want to go that far. There's loads of resources that you can get involved with. Spreading the word of QI week into your trust would be incredible. So looking ahead, Anita, what's your hope for QI week in the next 5 years?
Okay. People always ask these questions, don't they?
I know.
It's really hard to answer. I guess for me, it's about QI week continuing to grow organically. So, does it become now an international QI week? Who knows? Global domination.
Well, with how fast it's grown so far, it would not surprise me.
You never know. For it to grow, but also to think about how to make it more sustainable. Love doing QI week, as I know you do, but there is a lot of work for both of us. So you doing all the comms for it, but creating that beautiful flip book of the national agenda, and then doing the post one, so it's like a virtual goodie bag. But also the amount of emails that we get around QI week. So how do we make things easier and simpler for ourselves? So I guess we've just refreshed the branding, so that would be fine for a few years to come.
Let's hope. I hope we're not going to rebrand.
But also I think, and what I've learned is that there's lots of emails around people wanting to present nationally. So I think next year I'm going to create an MS Forms and send that out for people to add it on, so that I'm not getting all of these emails and then having to put it in a table and then having to do this and then having to do that. And it will all be there, that I can, once we've got the closing date. And that's another thing, I think I'm going to be more, even though I had a closing date this year, there were a few that slipped through the net, and now I'm having to say actually no.
It's hard to say no.
It's hard to say
really
no,
is.
especially when people want to share their work.
But
there has to come a cut-off point that we learnt from last year, didn't we, Sam, where, a couple of days before QI week, we were still getting
it was down
webinars
to the
wire. To add on, and that wasn't sustainable for you either. So we need to make sure that we are quite strict. So if it was like a conference, so say like the IHI conference, there is a cut-off date for submissions, and then you're told whether you're presenting or not. So I think we need to think like that. We have that cut-off date, and that is it. But we spread it out to everyone, which I thought we had done, but we can absolutely maybe put it out on our social media and things like that. So I think we need to be more sort of specific around that. But also what I want, or I'm hoping that it will be more every second week is QI week, and people will remember that and start to think about content, not when I kind of pop up around March time going, hi, should we think about QI week? People to start having those ideas already.
It'll be cemented
of what
into,
they want to do. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that it will always just stay a week for now, or do you think will it always be the second week in September?
I think for now, always the second week of September.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how we came to that week. We had to pick a week. I picked the week before, and everyone went, no, that's when the kids go back to school. So I chose the week after. But no week's a good week in the NHS, and we just had to pick one. So that's the week that we've gone with. I think keeping it the same for now, people will start getting used to it, and so I think it'll probably just stay that way. Unless there's there's lots of people coming forward going, we need to change it to a different week.
Okay, good. It's going to be a really exciting journey, and I can't wait to see. 5 years from now, see how far it has grown so far. It'll be amazing to see where we are in 5 years, and where it could be even be global. You never know, Anita.
Who knows?
And so you poured so much passion into QI Week. What has this journey taught you personally?
I think from a personal point of view, it's that don't be afraid to be creative, have those ideas and share those ideas. I can remember at first people going, oh, not sure, been there, done that. But actually, it has just grown. And sometimes that you have tried to implement before, sometimes they don't always go right. But that doesn't mean to say we can't necessarily try again. It's not being afraid to run with your ideas, being allowed to run with your ideas as well. I
think that's what's so special about, this is why I love where we work, because we have that freedom. If we have a vision or a dream, we are in an environment where we have that freedom to say, I have an idea, what about this? And run with it. And make, thank goodness we do, because you have been able to create this wonderful beast that is QI Week and is now spread nationally. But I think that is a really good motivation for leaders as well, to let their teams be creative, come up with ideas, spark initiatives, and have that freedom and be empowered to have a vision or a dream and to run with it.
Absolutely. And do you know what? If it doesn't work out the first time, that's okay. It's absolutely not a failure. It's just one idea you've tried that perhaps didn't work, but you've learnt from that, and then you're going to move on. So don't be disheartened if it doesn't work out the first time. Keep going.
That is life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we had promised to have stuck to the half an hour mark, and we're getting closer. So I'm going to go to our last questions now, and I'm adding in a question that I want to ask, and if this podcast becomes a series, it will probably be a question that I will ask going forward. If you had to describe QI Week in 3 words, what would they be?
Oh, that's a good question, Sam. Let me just think. So I think inspirational, because it's been inspirational hearing all the different things that are going on from a national point of view, but also from a local and regional point of view too. Collaboration. So it's a huge collaboration to get QI Week off the ground. If it wasn't for all the other organisations from a national point of view, QI Week wouldn't be where it is today. We wouldn't have the amazing content that is going on, and we've got a fully packed schedule this year, kind of almost every day of stuff going on, but also that connection. So I've met people I would never usually meet, being down here in the southeast. I wouldn't necessarily know people up north or even from within the region, to be fair. So it's been really good connecting with other people that work within improvement and are as passionate about it as I am. So that's my three words: inspirational, collaboration and connection.
Amazing at 3 words. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up. And I've got one last one. What message would you like to leave with listeners who are thinking about making improvements in their own teams or services?
Quite simple, really. Go for it.
Give it a go.
Give it a go. You never know unless you try. So, talk about it, float the idea with others. If it's a resounding no, then it might not be the right time. But if you've got people interested, that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't matter how big or small the change is. So, you never know unless you give it a go. So
Amazing.
That's it.
Amazing.
Try it.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Anita. And yes, listeners, if you want to get in contact with us, learn more about QI Week, just have some general advice from us, we are always here. You can contact us. I'll leave our email in the description. And any questions QI Week related, Anita is your woman.
So, thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for listening.